हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती राधास्वामी नामिनी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिनी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी विशेष शून्यवादी वाच्यपुरुषकर्णी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती राधास्वामी नामिनी, नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिनी, नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य सुतारिणे, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसाति गौर भक्त वृंद, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती राधास्वामी नामिनी, नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिनी, नमस्ते सर्वे नमस्ते देवे धन्यवाद पात्र प्रेषकरण जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 हरे राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Raju Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu. You're audible.
We will start. Give us a second. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishna Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Bhagavan Krishna Vishesha Shunyamara Pasita Vishatarina Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Bhagavan Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktaram Vijayana. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Let me share this one. You are able to see Mother's Prabhu's?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji.
So we are reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, Volume 1, Chapter 7, entitled as The League of Devotees. Tree is gone. We can tell. Prabhupada started this. Okay, we'll continue from this paragraph. Okay, so please start reading. I'll ask differently. Now, 1 second.
Should I start, Prabhuji?
Yes, you can start. Yeah.
His past life was seeming further and further behind him each day. But one day, after he had been in Jhansi about 6 months, a telegram arrived, bringing a startling reminder of his past connections. His business in Allahabad had been burglarized. His servants had stolen all his money and medicine and anything else of value. It had been a loss of 7,000 rupees. Abhay read the news, laughed, and uttered the Bhagavatam verse. Yasyaham anugrahnami harishe tadhanam shanai tato dhanam tyajantyasya swajana dukkha dukkhitam. Prabhakar Mishra advised Abhay to go back to Allahabad to recover what he could. No, Abhay said, this is good for me. I was sad, but now one great attachment has come to an end and my life is fully surrendered and dedicated to Shri Shri Radha Madhav. Abhay's son, Vrindavan, soon arrived in Jhansi, requesting Abhay to come to Calcutta to revive the business, Abhay Charan De and Sons. As they sat together in Abhay's room at the Radha Memorial, Abhay explained that he could not go back. He requested Vrindavan to stay and assist him by doing typewriting. But Vrindavan returned to Calcutta. Should I read the next one also, Prabhuji?
Yeah, event type in. So let us continue with the Samyukta.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. From his first meeting with Prabhakar, Abhay had urged the younger, educated man to take part in the League of Devotees as a full-time assistant. Although as lecturer and medical officer, Prabhakar had many duties at the university. He helped as much as he felt he could. He soon became Abhay's most active assistant. Abhay appointed him secretary to the League and after several months initiated him. Thus, Abhay became Prabhakar's spiritual master and Prabhakar became Abhay's first disciple. As a preacher, Abhay was duty bound to accept disciples, giving them the Hare Krishna mantra and the Parampara instructions as he had received them from his spiritual master. Prabhakar, however, not being a completely surrendered disciple, remained independent, more like an assistant than a disciple. As university principal, Sanskrit scholar, and medical doctor, he continued to pursue his own interest also. Srila Prabhupada, that League of Devotees, I was alone. There were some students, but they were not so active. I was doing everything. I wanted to organize with Prabhakar Mishra and others, but they were not interested to devote their whole time. If you asked him to do full-time work, that he would not do, but he was initiated. They were all learned scholars in Sanskrit medical men. Shall I read, Prabhuji? Or?
Continue tomorrow.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thus, when the Gaudiya Patrika had reported the opening day ceremonies, it had referred to Prabhakar in honorable terms as Abhay's partner in the League of Devotees, although he was actually Srila Bhaktivedanta's initiated disciple. Bhaktivedanta Prabhu summoned the service of the Honorable Acharya Srimad Prabhakar Mishra Shastri, Kavya, poetry, Vyakarana, grammar, Vedanta, philosophy, Tirtha, BIS, MSA to perform the sacrifice. He is the principal of a college in which the Vedas and the Vedangas are taught and degrees are given. He is also the assistant manager of the League of Devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mother. Okay. Let us go to the Prabhu's. Raju Prabhu, please start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Now, please.
Listen only, right? Prabhuji, according to that.
Yes, yes.
According to time and circumstances, Abhay was engaging this young man in devotional service. Abhay was interested not in collecting disables, but in the establishing the League of Devotees, and for the needed assistance. Prabhakar Mishra. When I first met Swamiji, he said to me, "You are a Brahmana and a Prabhakar, and you are eating in a restaurant. You come with me. I'll feed you myself. And I shall cook." So we would prepare prasadam and offering it to the Lord. We would take Bhagavat prasadam together. In this way, by his mercy, I got the chance to take prasadam. He also said to me, "You became Keshahin, Shavan." So I went to the college where I taught, and everyone laughed at me. When I told Swamiji the situation, he said that since you are a medical officer, you can grow out your hair. When I took Diksha, Swamiji gave me my name, Acharya Prabhakar. My original name was Prabhakar Mishra. He said, "You don't write the Mishra. You are the Acharya Prabhakar. You are Acharya Prabhakar." He gave me the name and offered me a Tulasi Mala and put tilaka on my forehead and tied a Kanti Mala around my neck. He had registered the foundation of the League of Devotees, and he appointed me as its secretary for preaching throughout the world. We used to go to the villages for Sankirtana and Bhagavad Katha continuously. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sandhya Mata, sorry, I forgot. Please read. Sandhya Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, completely. I forgot. Yeah, please read.
Abhay started from that, Prabhuji.
Yes. Abhay started.
Abhay started a Sankirtana movement in Jhansi. At first accompanied only by Acharya Prabhakar. He used to walk about the neighborhood of Naibasti, chanting Hare Krishna. As he continued this practice, his group gradually increased until 50 people were gathering regularly to go out on parikrama, chant together and visit temples. Afterwards, they would gather at the Radha Memorial for an evening lecture. When Abhay would go to preach in the nearby villages, he would usually be accompanied by whatever league members were free. Once he went with Acharya Prabhakar on Padayatra, traveling on foot and preaching to Chirgaon, some 20 miles from Jhansi. In Chirgaon, there lived a nationally known poet, Maithili Sharan Gupta, who received Abhay and his disciple at his home for dinner. Abhay told his host that since he was an accomplished poet, he should write something glorifying Krishna, and the poet agreed. After preaching in Chirgaon, Abhay and Prabhakar returned to Jhansi, spending one day in each of 5 villages along the way. At night, the villagers would gather and Abhay would lead Kirtana. He explained to Prabhakar that although most of these simple farmers were not scholars, in Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, they could achieve the highest spiritual benefit simply by Kirtana. Abhay was well received by the villagers who begged him to return soon, but to give them notice next time so that they could prepare a proper reception. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Vani Mataji, Hare Krishna, are you able to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Please read.
Yes, Prabhuji.
While preaching locally.
Okay. While preaching locally, Abhay was simultaneously working to give an international scope to his League of Devotees. He wrote to government agencies asking them to help him expand his genuine educational project, and he also tried to recruit preachers from amongst his friends. He wrote to his old college classmate Rupen Mitra in Calcutta, inviting him to join in worldwide missionary activities. My mission desires to train up 40 trainees, and I have asked help from government for this useful educational purpose. I want that you may be one of the trainees in this regard, and you can ask Kartik Dada to join us in this spirit. You will know from the papers sent to you how we live and what we do, and thus you can make up your mind whether it is possible for you to join us. The first thing is that we want to train up some retired men in the Vanaprastha life and some young men in the Brahmacharya life. I have no inclination for the Sannyasa life, which is rather a difficult job for the fallen people of this age. The so-called sannyasis in red garments have spoiled the good name of such order of life. Abhaya asked Rupen, kindly let me know the charges of this advertisement in the English and vernacular papers of Calcutta. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, complete educational, this part.
Okay, educational. Wanted candidates from any nationality to qualify themselves as real Brahmins for preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita for all practical purposes throughout the world, whole world. Deserving candidates will be provided with free boarding and lodging. Apply. A.C. Bhaktivedanta, founder and secretary of the League of Devotees, Bharti Bhavan, PO, Post Office, Jhansi, UP. Abhay wanted deed stating that in Bharat. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sapan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Abhay wanted a deed stating that the Bharati Bhavan belonged to the League of Devotees. So far, he had only a promise. Thinking of Jhansi as a permanent headquarters, he wanted a written commitment. When he approached Reva Shankar Bhayal for a deed of gift, Mr. Bhayal gave Abhay a form requesting him to pay 500 rupees to register the buildings. But since Abhay had just suffered a loss of 7,000 rupees in Allahabad and had recently spent 3,000 rupees in his preaching, much of it going towards the opening day festival, he found himself unable to raise even 500 rupees. Acharya Prabhakar, despite his academic position, had very little money and was being subsidized by his parents with 3 rupees a day. Most of Abhay's congregation, especially the students, were in a similar position. Mr. Bhayal's request for 500 rupees didn't seem urgent, nor did he say what would happen if Abhay couldn't pay. But he soon made another request. Mr. Abhay Charan De should buy the Bharati Bhavan for 5,000 rupees. It was disconcerting. The generous gift had turned into a purchase offer. The people in the town were already referring to the property as Abhay Bhaktivedanta's Ashrama, and the League of Devotees was printed in large letters across the wall of the compound. When pressed by Abhay's friends, Mr. Bhayal assured them that Abhay could go on living there. But ultimately he would have to buy. Mr. Bhayal said he would give the League of Devotees first consideration and good price. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Puji. Hare Krishna. Who else? Gaurav Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sure, Prabhuji. Abhay wanted a deed starting that the Bharati. Sorry. Should I start, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was It was disconcerting that the generous gift had turned into a purchase offer. The people in town were already referring to the property as Abhay Bhaktivedanta's ashram, and the League of the Devotees was printed in large letters across the wall of the compound. When pressed by Abhay's friend, Mr. Bhayal assured them that Abhay could go on living there. But ultimately, he would have to buy. Mr. Bhayal said he would give the League of the Devotees first considerations and a good price. Abhay worried, not knowing that what the landlord would do next. If the League could purchase the property, that would be the best. But he, yeah, but he had been unable to raise even 500 rupees. 5,000 seemed impossible. Abhay found no strong financial backing from his congregation. His colleague did not include even a single full-time worker. He did know of one way to raise money, his pharmaceuticals business. He still had a small operations being run by his son in Calcutta. Abhay had formerly been earning 3,000 rupees per month. He considered approaching God Brothers for help, but the protest for earning the money himself seemed more likely. For 30 years, he had earned money by his pharmaceuticals business, and he could do again for the most of the worthy cause. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Who else not here? Let me see. Sirisha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please read. Then Lalit Mohan Prabhu.
When he arrived in Kolkata in the spring of 1954, he was without money. He chose to live with his god brothers at the Gaudiya Sangha in Chetla, the same neighborhood his family lived in. Since he had no money, the head of the ashrama bore his expenses. Abhay gave daily discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam, which the Gaudiya Sangha brahmacharis highly appreciated. Krishna Kumara Brahmachari. Even after he left, his sweet melodious voice would ring in my ears. He used to often express a desire to go abroad and preach. One of his sons was running a small business, Hamilton Laboratory, and thus supporting the family. Abhay knew that his wife would not be interested in his work in Jhansi. His son had been there but had not been impressed. The family would see his preaching in Jhansi as a treat to their home life. Abhay, however, was sustaining himself by his vision, which was now taking particle shape of a world reformed by Krishna consciousness. He even thought of opening a branch of the League of Devotees in Kolkata. Can I continue, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes, yes. Lalit Mohan Prabhu, please read.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. But inevitably, he was plunged again into family responsibilities. Some of his children were still unmarried. Rent and bills had to be paid. Even if he were to develop the Wimbledon laboratory, the family would demand whatever he earned. And even if he were to accede to their demands, live at home and give up preaching, the greatest difficulty would still remain. They weren't serious about devotional service, nor could he change them. What was the use of conducting a business if they would not be devotees? He visited his family, and the same old scene occurred. Local friends came to visit, and Abhay began preaching, giving Bhagavad Gita classes, just as he had been doing in Jhansi. Meanwhile, his wife and the rest of the family would take tea in a separate room. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Let me read this. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, I wanted as much as possible to get her to work with me in spreading Krishna consciousness, to get her help, but she was very determined. She wouldn't help me in spreading Krishna consciousness. So finally, after many years, I could understand she would not be any assistance to me. She was very attached to drinking tea. I was always telling her not to drink tea because I wanted to have a nice Vaishnava family. So although I was repeatedly telling her, this time I finally said, you have to choose between me or tea. Either the tea goes or I go. In this way, I was even criticizing my own family But because they were thinking I was husband or father, they couldn't take my instruction seriously. So she replied, give up tea drinking or give up my husband. Well, I will have to give up my husband. Then, of course, she thought I was joking. One day, Radharani made a great mistake. There was a system of barter in which a customer would place on a scale an object of on a scale an object a shopkeeper considered valuable, and the shopkeeper would then balance it with an equal weight of merchandise. So while Abhay was out, his wife took his worshipable Bhagavatam to the market and traded it for tea biscuits. When Abhay came home and looked for the book, she told him what had happened. She hadn't taken the matter as a very serious thing. She was out of a tea biscuits. But Abhay was shocked. At first, he felt depressed, but then a wave of absolute resolution passed over him. His family life was finished. And let me read this one also. When he told them he was leaving, they didn't understand what he meant. He had been leaving for 30 years. He was always coming and going. When he walked out the door, they thought, there he goes again, and he is leaving. It was the usual routine. Everyone could see, even the neighbors. Mr. Day was going again. He had been at home. Now he was going. He would be back again. But Abhay knew he would never come back. Period. Very good. Again, let us read some more time. Okay. Deepa Mataji. Actually, Lavanya Jain, Hare Krishna. You want to read?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Please.
Srila Prabhupada. Before leaving my family, I wanted to get all my sons and daughters married, but some of them disagreed. But then the time is up. Never mind whether they are married or not. Let them see to their own business. Suppose I die immediately, who will take care of my daughter? At the time, we say God will take care. Then why not now? God will take care. My Guru Maharaja used to say that renunciation of family life was civil suicide. If you commit suicide, that is criminal. But that renunciation of family is voluntary committing suicide. Now I am dead. Whatever you like, you do. Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, give up all religion. So family is Griha Dharma, the religion of the family. But Krishna says, give that up. But that attachment is there. And if we say that feeling of attachment has to be given up gradually, then that we cannot do because the attachment is there. But if God will take care, of them, if I die immediately, then why not now?
Very well. Thank you very much. I will read again one more time. Deepa Mataji, please start.
Yes, sir. His spiritual emotions were so turbulent that he wasn't thinking of going to Jhansi. He wanted to take a train to anywhere. Then he remembered some old godbrother friends who were living in an ashram in Jhargram, only a short train ride south of Calcutta. So he borrowed 10 rupees from a friend and bought a ticket to Jhargram. It was a small matha. When Abhay arrived, he was welcomed by Paramahamsa Maharaj, Damodar Maharaj, and others. Paramahamsa Maharaj had been present when Abhay had first met Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and he remembered Abhay as he had looked then, dressed in white khadi, looking like a Gandhian anarchist. Abhay explained to him, I couldn't fulfill my family's needs, so now let me preach the message of Lord Chaitanya. Abhay told him how his business had failed and how he had willingly left his family and was now destitute. Paramahamsa Maharaj, when Abhay arrived, he appeared very poor, starving. He had no means. He came alone to the matha, and when he arrived, he only chanted Hare Krishna, nothing else.
Complete, Mother. These two paragraphs from event.
Abhay spent his time in Jhargram, chanting the holy name and becoming settled in detachment from his family. For several days, he chanted japa almost continuously. Paramahamsa Maharaj would lecture in the evenings, and then Abhay would also speak on Bhagavad Gita. But as time passed, his thoughts turned again to Jhansi, and he soon felt ready to go back to the League of Devotees. He had to secure the buildings and go on with the preaching. But before returning, he obtained a large deity of Lord Chaitanya that he planned to install at the Bharti Bhavan. Ironically, he had gone to Calcutta to do business and raise money, but now he had no money, no business, and no family responsibilities. He had been married 36 years, and now at age 58, he had fully taken to the Vanaprastha order. Now he could dedicate his life fully to preaching Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Samyukta Mataji, then Sandhya Mataji. Please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Abhay did not adopt the saffron dress of a Vanaprastha, but continued wearing a white dhoti and kurta. The people of Jhansi had always known him as a preacher with no family, ever since he had first arrived a year and a half before. Now he was returning to them with a deity of Lord Chaitanya and a determination to establish Lord Chaitanya's temple in Jhansi. Abhay met with a warm welcome from Acharya Prabhakar and others, but he also met with competition for possession of the Radha Memorial. Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Read.
It began with a Sanskrit conference, the Bandalkhand Sanskrit Sammelan, which brought to Jhansi the governor of the province, K.M. Munshi, and his wife Lilavati. An active social organizer, Lilavati Munshi had opened several branches of the Mahila Samiti Sangha, a society that aimed at socially uplifting women by teaching them secretarial skills and English. Two educated Jhansi ladies, Chandramukhi and Suryamukhi, wanted such a women's social program for Jhansi, and they took the opportunity to approach Lilavati Munshi during her visit. She inspired them, and they began to talk about where in Jhansi they could open one for her social centers. Perhaps, suggested one of the ladies, the Bharati Bhavan could be used. Although Suryamukhi Sharma had been one of the sympathizers who had first approached Mr. Bhayal on behalf of Abhay Charande and had asked that he be given the Bharati Bhavan for his League of Devotees, she felt that the ladies' cause was more important, and she knew that Abhay's ownership of the buildings was not settled. The women agreed that the buildings would be an excellent facility for a Mahila Samiti Sangha branch, and that their cause was more urgent than Abhay Charan's.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sandhya Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Suryamukhi, assured of support by the governor's wife, called on A.C. Bhaktivedanta. She explained that his league of worldwide Vaishnavas would never take shape. He was a nice person and she liked him, but she did not think he could realize his extraordinary expectations. She suggested he vacate the Bharati Bhavan so that governor's wife could organize a women's social center. You can go here and there for the sake of building a temple, she told him. You are free to travel anywhere, but these poor women in Jhansi have nothing. So they must be given these buildings for their use. She found him adamantly opposed. No, Abhay said, find another building. Abhay argued that his work was not just for a section of people, but for all living beings. Suryamukhi left frustrated. Abhay was surprised that a member of the League of Devotees was now working against him, and the maneuver was being backed by the governor's wife. Mr. Munshi could work at a much more influential level without having to confront Abhay directly and without his even knowing what she was doing. After she talked with Mr. Bhayal, word got around that Mr. Bhayal had been pressured for persuade Abhay Charan to relinquish his claim on the Bharati Bhavan. Mr. Boyle owned a cinema house in Jhansi, and there was talk that he could have a lot of difficulty with his operator's license unless Abhay Charan vacated the Radha Memorial.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kani Mataji, please read these two paragraphs.
Prabhuji.
Please read.
Abhay నుంచి చదవాలి ప్రభుజీ. In December, okay. In December 1954, Mrs. Munshi wrote Abhay in reference to his failure to raise the 5,000 rupees. Dear Bhakti Vedanta ji, she wrote, you wanted to organize there, but you could not. But I have got this institution, Mahila Samiti. Why not give it to me? Abhay was of a mind to resist. He had a lawyer friends who advised him that even though he was opposed by the governor's family, he had a great case that would stand up well in court. India's tradition of respect for religious buildings was on his side. Abhay replied to Mrs. Munshi, introducing himself as a founder of the League of Devotees. He explained the goal of the League, enclosed a copy of his prospectus, and presented many statements by prominent people, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sri Sita Ram, Raja Mahendra Pratap, and even her husband, Sri K. Munshi, praising the wonderful work of the League of Devotees. He also mentioned that the president of the League had recently received a 100 rupee donation in Mathura from His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Munshi himself. Abhay said that although work had been going on slowly but peacefully in Jhansi, his mind had now been bothered by Mrs. Munshi's negotiations. He requested her not to pressure anyone about his occupying the Bharati Bhavan, though he admitted, if you or any one of your agents do try, the pressure will be more grateful. I am a non-entity in that comparison. Should I stop, Prabhuji, or should I continue?
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Sirisha Mataji, please read this paragraph.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Yeah, Abhay hoped that by his presenting the details of his league, she would understand that his was a better cause than the Mahila Samiti. He quoted that first 3 verses of the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, wherein Lord Krishna describes how the ancient science of Bhakti Yoga is received through Parampara, the order of succession from one teacher to the next, and how kings are responsible for seeing that Krishna consciousness spreads for everyone's benefit. He also argued that since, according to Bhagavad Gita, only a few amongst thousands and thousands of men endeavor for self-realization, and since the League of Devotees engaged its members in self-realization, he was providing an important and rare service. He offered to meet with Mr. Munshi along with some 15 sannyasis from the area and suggested that she work cooperatively with them and understand the importance of the League. The League of Devotees was benefiting all classes. As Sri Krishna had said in Bhagavad Gita, even one of a low birth can attain the shelter of the Supreme Lord. But the Mahila Samiti, Abhay pointed out, was based on bodily conceptions of caste, creed, color, and sex. Therefore, it could not be as important a cause. Abhay closed by requesting Mr. Munshi not to try to occupy the Radha Memorial, which was already being used for a noble and well appreciated cause. He signed A.C. Bhaktivedanta, founder and secretary, League of Devotees. Yeah.
Please, 2 lines.
Aware that he was involved in an intrigue, Abhay organized his thoughts and set down on paper a short history outlining important events surrounding his position of the Bharati Bhavan.
Thank you.
Yes,
Lavanya,
thank you.
please read.
Short history. I came to Jhansi sometime in October 1952. I delivered some lectures at Gita Bhavan on Gandhi Jayanti Day 1952. Made acquaintance with Prabhakar Shastri. My idea of League of Devotees implemented. 5th one. He took me Reva Shankar for Bharati Bhavan. 6th one. Sri Reva Shankar agreed to hand over the Bharati Bhavan to League of Devotees and he agreed to become a member of it in the presence of Prabhakar, Mitraji and myself. 7th, I write letters from Allahabad to confirm. 8th, he confirmed my letter on 10/12/52. 9th, Prabhakar intimated the desire of Reva Shankar on 1/1 and 3. I got the document needed for League of Devotees and came to Jhansi for signature of the members. Reva Shankar signed and agreed to become an executive member. 11th one. The document was submitted for registration on 4/2/53 at Lucknow, returned on 10/10/53. 12th, the League of Devotees ceremoniously started on 16/5/53 and work began. So I am occupying the building since then and continuing my work.
Okay.
Abhay,
Yeah. Thank you. So, thank you. You to publish. Akincha Prabhuji, since you did.
Okay.
Abhay went to enumerate more than 30 points, including new publicity and congratulations he had received. He listed the story of how he came here, sacrificing my business and family. I received a telegram from Allahabad instructing the news of burglary by breaking lock. I could not attend the business for the work here, and it was closed subsequently at the loss of rupees 7,000. Abhay thought of turning to some of his sannyasi godmothers for help. If he or they could purchase the building, his competitors would be silenced. He thought it worthwhile to interest his godbrothers in purchasing the building as an adjunct to their own missions. Vrindavana was not far away. A 4 hour train ride to Mathura and then a short Tanga ride. He had gone there on pilgrimage in October of 1953 and had even looked at an available room in the temple near Keshi Ghata with the idea of staying there someday. He had also traveled there several other times since he had begun residing in Jhansi. This time he went to the Imlitala temple to see his godbrother Bhakti Saranga Goswami and ask if he would like to take over the proprietorship of Bharati Bhavan so that it might be used for preaching Krishna consciousness according to the teachings of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. But Sri Ranga Goswami, sorry, but Bhakti Saranga Goswami was not interested. After approaching another god brother Damodara Maharaj, he was also not interested in Jhansi. Abhay took the short Tanga ride back to Mathura to see another god brother Keshava Maharaj. Keshava Maharaj was in Mathura with a group of his disciples to establish a shelter, but he had not yet located a suitable place. So when Abhay told him about the building in Jhansi, he was interested. Abhay and Keshav Maharaj composed a letter to Mr. Bhayal presenting their request and the aims of their movement and then traveled to Jhansi in a group. Abhay and Keshav Maharaj with his, with his disciples.
Thank you so much. So, Sapam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Keshav Maharaj and his party stayed for several days in Jhansi, holding kirtans and lectures. They had an appointment with Reva Shankar Bhayal, but Mr. Bhayal broke it, so they had to wait to see him on another day. Meanwhile, Keshav Maharaj had time to form an opinion of Jhansi and discuss with Abhay the likelihood of making this his headquarters. He noted that people were receptive, but that the location was too remote. Even before meeting with Mr. Bhayal, Keshav Maharaj felt reluctant to stake his whole mission in Jhansi. Abhay agreed, aware that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had said that a preacher should go into the big cities and not practice his bhajana in seclusion. And he admitted that after 2 years in Jhansi, he had made no full-time followers. Stop. When they finally met with Mr. Bhayal failed to present clear terms for purchasing the property. He said they were eligible to buy it, but he made their use of the building conditional. He wanted to have a say in the nature of the programs they would hold. Abhay knew that this was just a further sign of shady dealings, and he suspected that Mr. Bhayal was under mounting pressure to give the buildings over to Mahila Samiti. Keshav Maharaj, having lost all interest, decided to go back to Mathura, and he invited Abhay to join him. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Gaurav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. But Abhay remained. Mr. Bhayas wanted him out, and he even returned Abhay's deposit of 210 rupees, claiming that Abhay now had no justification for residing at the Bharati Bhavana. Abhay noted down the latest events in his short history. 29. He has also give me a check of 210 in lieu of a deposit money with him, but he has no money in the bank. The bank has returned it with remark. 30th. The money which was given to him was misappropriated by him for his own purpose, and now he has given false check with the with an arrangement with the bank. 31st, it is a plain cheated to me from the beginning to the end. 32nd, I must be compensated for all the money before I can leave the building. But he saw it as an inscrutable will of Krishna. Events and opinions were turning him against conducting a mission in Jhansi. It is no longer seen an auspicious.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Raju Prabhu. Raju Prabhu. Okay. Hearing, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So I think everybody except like myself will read. We'll complete this chapter anyway. Yeah. Read, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada. I wanted to start from there. It was nice, big house. It was not given to me rightly, but I was using. So somehow or other, she got imagination that this house is very nice. She was the governor's wife. Through collector and through government officials, she made pressure. So of course, there were many lawyer friends. They advised me, you do not give up. But I thought, who's going to litigate? I thought that I have left my home and now I should take up litigation. No, I don't want this house. Prabhuji, you know this who is K.M. Munshi? You know, the present Chaupati temple. Yeah, it's named after K.M. Munshi Maharaj.
School's founder.
Yes, Bhavan's main this thing, founder.
Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan.
He is our, constitution's one of the constitution writer. Later, he became governor for Madhya Pradesh, and now she is a governor's wife who is taking head on with Prabhupada. Okay. Somehow or other, it didn't go well. This Jhansi thing didn't go well at any point of time. Only struggles, all struggles only. Left his family. Here also, the League of Devotees gone.
Yeah.
And Mahila Samiti. Some Mahila Samiti wanted to come.
Yes.
Haribol. Jai Prabhuji, sorry. Please go ahead.
Continue, Prabhuji. We will another 2-3 paragraphs to complete it now. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Abhay remembered how the Gaudiya Math preachers had expended. Yeah, shall I go ahead, bro?
Yes.
Abhay remembered how the Gaudiya Math preachers had expended their energy for years in the courts. Having terminated his long entanglement with family and businesses, he had no taste for legal fight. He could have fought, but he remembered what Keshav Maharaj has said about Jhansi's being out of the way. Of course, the whole thing had just sprung up there. Otherwise, Abhay would have never chosen to establish his worldwide league in such an obscure place. The educated young men and women wished him well, just as they had good wishes for the Ladies' League, the Theosophy Society, the Arya Samaj, and many other causes. But their good intentions were certainly short of pure surrender and devotion. Even his one disciple could offer him only part-time help, but these considerations had not been sufficient to force him out. The real thing was that he was being driven out.
Read this one also.
Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada. If I did not leave, nobody could drive me. That was a fact. But I thought, who is going to litigate these things? It is the governor's wife, and she is pressing through collector. The manager who is in charge, he had some cinema house. So they had to renew the license. And the collector pressed him that unless you arrange for this house, we are not going to renew your license. I thought unnecessarily this man will be in trouble. I will have to pay many rupees and she is the governor's wife.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I will read last thing. He decided to leave he told his friends to carry on the League of Devotees in his absence. They were sad to see him go, and yet even some of his friends openly praised the work of the Ladies' Society and were glad to see it come. They had not been able to help him financially, although they knew he had been unable to purchase the buildings on his own. His closer followers were more affected, but he assured them that their relationship would continue. He would write letters to them, Acharya Prabhakar, Radhelal Mulik, Mr. Mitra, Dr. Shastri, and he gave them instructions on what they should do, especially Acharya Prabhakar. Abhay told him he would be calling for him and expected him to continue as secretary of the League of Devotees, even if they didn't make Jhansi their main residence. Yet it was obvious that this chapter of making ambitious plans for a world movement, going from house to house and village to village, performing Sankirtana, lecturing on the Gita, distributing Prasadam, this was ended, and it was not likely that he would return or that the residents of Jhansi could expect to see him again. When Abhay left the Bharati Bhavan, with its 6-foot high lettering, League of Devotees, painted across the outside wall, he felt sad. It had been a natural, spontaneous success for him. The young, educated people of Jhansi had looked up to him from the start, and had it not been for the intrigue, he would never have left. But he felt he had no real choice. He had come as a family man on business and was leaving as a homeless Vanaprastha, forced to take shelter of Krishna. Forced to take shelter of Krishna. His plans were uncertain, but his desire was strong and his health good. So he moved on to Mathura, carrying with him the deity of Lord Chaitanya. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. See, these are the heart-wrenching story of Srila Prabhupada, how he wanted to start this institution, and due to different circumstantial things, he couldn't manage, he couldn't do it. This still he has the faith in Krishna and continue. Ultimately, he has seen success in 1965 in America, starting ISKCON in New York City. This is the end of this chapter. Thank you so much, devotees, for reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. We'll lead our Sloka practice, okay? I'm gonna share Bhakti Vaidya. Okay. Yeah. We'll spend the time 8:52. Okay, we'll spend until 9:20, 9:25, 9:30, no problem. Okay, whoever can be able to make it, stay. If you have any obligations, you can leave after recitation. Some of the recitations. Okay. So yesterday we have done first verse of Chatusloki Bhagavatam, and the other one. What is that? Chatusloki Bhagavatam. This one. Aham eva samivagre, and previous one, but Akama Sarva Kamo, Moksha Kamo. Okay, so we'll continue the other two Chatusloki Bhagavatam today. On Friday, we are going to recite all these verses, okay? Everybody get a chance. Let us continue the other two verses today directly. Prabhuji, over to you.
Yeah. So, as usual, let's two devotees go with the what is the synonyms, and the other three devotees with the translation. Okay.
Hello, Prabhu. Synonyms for this now. Without artham value, yet that which pratiyeta appears to be, not pratiyeta appears to be, cha and atmani in relation to me, tat that vidyat you must know, atmanaha my mayam illusory energy, yatha just as, abhasaha the reflection, yatha as, tama the darkness. Yeah, Bhakti Vaibhav students, they show enthusiasm quickly, please.
Rite without artham value, yat that which pratiyeta appears to be, na not pratiyeta appears to be, cha and atmani in relation to me, tat that vidyat you must know, atmana my mayam illusory energy, yatha just as abhasa the reflection, yatha as tama the darkness.
Yeah, one more devotee. Panimata, you want to do?
Yeah. Rite without artham value, yet that which pratiyata appears to be, na not pratiyata appears to be, cha and atmani in relation to me, tat that vidyat you must know, atmane atmanah my mayam illusionary energy, yatha just as abhasha the reflection, yatha as tama the darkness.
Yes. Translation also, 3 devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, change.
Translation. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. No, it has my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other, please.
So Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness.
Thank you. Yes.
Lalit Mohan Prabhu,
Yeah,
ఇది
thank
కొంచెం
you.
కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ గా
Yes.
ఉంది ప్రభుజీ. అంటే whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without, how can anything not be in relation to Supreme Personality of Godhead?
No, actually, this shloka, how it starts is that you know the 3 energies of the Lord Prabhu: Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti,
Tatastha Shakti.
Right, na? So here our Lord Vishnu wants to say that there are 3 energies. One energy you can see as Bahiranga Shakti, illusory energy. Okay? People who think that it is not connected to me, actually it is my energy. That's what he wanted to claim, the proprietorship of the illusory energy also. So internally, this is what it means, that all these 3 energies are mine: Antaranga, Bahiranga, and Tatastha. Bit philosophical, Prabhu. Actually, this Chatushloki Bhagavatam is of higher intelligence, it's of a lot of philosophy in it. See, here actually, Lord Vishnu wants to say that whatever appears to be, anything of value for you, it is actually me. And if you find anything not valuable, it is my external energy. So all of these things are related, are mine only.
Prabhuji, how to understand marginal energy, Tatastha Shakti?
Yeah, that has an independence to go in both of these energies, Mataji. It can completely stay in the Bahiranga Shakti, or it can completely stay in the Antaranga Shakti.
What is an example,
Or it
Prabhuji?
can be in between. Human being, our Atma, Jivatma. Jivatma can stay in both the sides. You can be like a Mudha and only be in the Bahiranga Shakti. Or you can be a devotee and be in the Antaranga Shakti. Or you can be in between also. Okay, that is the freedom which you have, and that Lord will never take from you.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Actually, Tatastha Shakti means Jivatmas. Okay, with Jivatmas.
Okay,
Too philosophical, huh? Too philosophical. Let's don't go deep into that because time will not be sufficient now. But understand that all the three energies are mine. That is what Lord Krishna wanted to say to Brahma. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Ritirtam yat pratiyeta.
Ritirtam yat
Pratiyeta.
Ritirtam yat pratiyeta.
Ritirtam yat pratiyeta.
Ritirtam yat pratiyeta.
Ritirtam yat pratiyeta.
न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि
Pratiyeta chatmani.
न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि
Na
Na
pratiyeta
pratiyeta
chatmani.
chatmani.
ओके तद्विद्यादात्मनो माया
Tadvidyatmano maya.
तद्विद्यादात्मनो माया
Tadvidyatmano maya.
तद्विद्यादात्मनो माया
Tadvidyatmano maya.
यथा भासो यथा तमः
Yata bhasho yata.
Yata tamaha.
यथा भासो यथा तमः
Yata bhasho
Yata
yata.
tamaha.
यथा भासो यथा तमः
Yata bhasho yata
Yata
tamaha.
tamaha.
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि
Ritirtam
Ritam yat
pratiyeta.
pratiyeta.
Apratiyeta chatmani.
Pratiyeta chatmani.
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि
Ritirtam
Ritam yat
pratiyeta.
pratiyeta.
Na
Na
pratiyeta
pratiyeta
chatmani.
chatmani.
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि
Ritirtam
Ritam yat
na
pratiyeta. Na
pratiyeta
pratiyeta
chatmani.
chatmani.
तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः
Tadvidyatmano mayam yata bhasho yata tamaha.
तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः
Tadvidyatmano mayam yata bhasho
Yata
yata.
tamaha.
तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः
Tadvidyatmano mayam yata bhasho yata tamaha.
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः
Ritirtam
Ritam yat
pratiyeta.
pratiyeta. Na
Pratiyeta
pratiyeta
chatmani.
chatmani.
Yadvidyatmano mayam
Tadvidyatmano
yata
maya.
bhasho
Yata
yata
bhaso
tamaha.
yata tamaha.
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः
Ritirtam
Ritam yat pratiyeta.
pratiyeta
Na
chatmani.
pratiyeta chatmani.
Advidyatmano mayam
Tadvidyatmano
yata bhasho
maya.
yata.
Yata bhavo yata tamaha.
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः
Ritirtam
Ritam yat
pratiyeta.
pratiyeta. Na
Pratiyeta
pratiyeta
chatmani.
chatmani.
Advidyatmano
Tadvidyatmano
mayam yata
maya.
bhasho yata
Yata
tamaha.
bhaso yata tamaha.
yeah. Now we can go for individual practice. Thank you. Starting with the devotees who are attending the Bhakti Vaibhav.
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः. Translation: O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Hare Krishna.
रेरितं यत् प्रतीयेता न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यायादात्मनो माया यथा भासो यथा तमः. Translation: O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusionary energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness.
Mataji, first line ఒకసారి చేయండి.
అది నాకు రాలేదు ప్రభుజీ. అంటే ఎలా ప్రభుజీ, జస్ట్ ఆర్టీ అంటే ఎలాగా ప్రొనౌన్స్ చేస్తారు ప్రభుజీ?
రితే
లైక్ రిషిలో RSI అని ఉంటుంది కదా మాతాజీ, అలాగే రితే లైక్ మన హిందీలో
అర్థమైంది.
ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే పక్కన అర్థం ఉంది కదా, యాక్చువల్ గా ఎనీథింగ్ విచ్ స్టార్ట్స్ విత్ ని సైలెంట్ చేసినప్పుడు దే విల్ పుట్ అపాస్ట్రఫీ లైక్ దట్ అన్నమాట. బికాస్ దిస్ రితేర్థం అలా కంటిన్యూస్ అవుతుంది, బట్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ రితే అర్థం. The real breakup of the words is rite artham, but when that goes silent, because both are told continuously, appudu ala apostrophe pettaru. So manamu rite artham anna riteartham anna, because riteartham is said in that ante aa tune lo fit avvadaniki ala untundi annamata. So adi kuda chuskondi. Ritham kadadi, that is also riteartham.
Okay, riteartham yat pratiyata. Okay,
pratiyeta.
నేను ఇంకొకసారి చెప్పిన మాతాజీ.
చెప్పండి.
రితే అర్థం యత్ ప్రతీయత నా ప్రతీయేత చాత్మని తద్విద్యాయాదాత్మనో మాయా యథా భాషో యథా తమః. రితే అర్థం ఏ సైలెంట్ గా ఉండాలి.
yes mataji.
రితే అర్థం
hari bol jai.
Yeah, okay. Riteartham. Okay, got it.
Yeah, the next
Riteartham yat
King Prabhu, Hari bol. Raj Prabhu, are you there? King.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.34. Riteartham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tadvidyat atmano mayam yat abhasayo yat yata bacho yata tamaha. So last line is
yatha bhaso yatha tamaha.
Yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. Riteartham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tadvidyat atmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. Translation: Oh Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. No, it has my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness.
Thank you, devotees. Riteartham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tadvidyad atmano mayam yata bhasho yata tamaha. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Now over to devotees, quickly Jayani, we have to learn other words, okay? We don't need to call names, we all know the process. Just please help yourself.
न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो माया यथा भासो यथा तमः.
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायं यथा भाषो यथा तमा
ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भाषो यथा तमः. हरे कृष्ण.
Samyukta Mataji.
यत् प्रतीयेता प्रतीयेता चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भाषो यथा तमः.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
हितेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः.
Ramreddy Prabhu.
लेर प्रभुजी.
Okay. Sandhya Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. ऋतेर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, all devotees. Let us go to another verse. Okay, 35th verse. Okay. Yeah. Again, same synonyms and translations. Okay. So now synonyms 3 times. I will do translation this time. Whoever likes to do, please do it. Please. Synonyms. Hare Krishna.
Yata, just as Vahalti, the universal, Bhutani elements, Bhuteshu Ucha Avaseshu, in the minute and gigantic, Alu after Pravishtari, entered, Apravishtari, not entered, Tata, so, Teshu, in them, Na, not, Teshu, in them, Aham, myself.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Sapan Prabhu, can you do?
In translation, Prabhuji.
No, do it. This one. Synonyms also.
Yata, just as, Mahanti, the universal, Bhutani elements, Bhuteshu Ucha Avacheshu, the minute and gigantic, Anu, after, Pravisthani, entered, Apravisthani, not entered, Tatha, so, Teshu, in them, Na, not, Teshu, in them, Aham, myself.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And Raju Prabhu? Okay. Yeah, read the synonyms.
Yata, just as, Mahanti, the universal, Bhutani, elements, Bhuteshu, Ucha Avacheshu, in the minute and gigantic, Anu after, Pravisthani, enter, Apravisthani, not enter, Tata, so, Teshu, in them, Na, not, Teshu, in them, Aham, myself.
Translation. Any Matas, 2 Matas, please.
O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created and at the same time I am outside of everything.
O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created and at the same time I am outside of everything. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. This is Atlantic verse. This is one verse, right?
Ishopanishad, first verse.
Yeah. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created and at the same time I am outside of everything. Go ahead.
Yeah. Whenever Lord wants to, say his supremacy, or tell his supremacy, it will not be understandable to us. Because there is a good reason and logic has been told. To the extent we can't understand it, to that extent we are actually wanting to lord it over this material energy. Okay, so the more we want to lord it over the material energy, the less we can understand these things like the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, the invocation prayer of the Isopanishad. These things now they cannot be understood so easily if we have this material lording tendency. This has been told to me by one of my counselors. So don't try to understand this. Yeah, if you want to understand this, you should be completely in a surrendered mode. Then you can understand this very easily. Okay.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Even Brahma says the spark. Just I understood the spark of your this one. How can we understand, Prabhuji?
Yes, very difficult actually. Yeah. Yata mahanti bhu. Sorry, no. I wanted to make you to recite one word in this. This bit tough. Second line is bit tough in this. Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu. Please repeat after me.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Okay, from V you should separate it. Please remember this. Okay, else you cannot spell it properly. Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
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 I want every one of you to repeat this, because you'll go blabbering when you do the shloka. I guarantee this. Please repeat this loudly. If you can't open your mics, okay? If you can't switch on your mics, you do it yourself loudly. Else you cannot do this shloka. Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Yeah, thank you. Yatha mahanti bhutani.
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 Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Pravishthanya pravisthani.
Pravishtanya pravishtani.
Pravishthanapyavisthani. I'm sorry. Pravisthanyam pravisthani.
Pravishtanya pravishtani.
Pravisthanya pravisthani.
Pravishtanya
pravishtani.
Tatha teshu nateshvaham.
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 Yata mahanti bhutani. Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
Yata mahanti
bhutani.
vacheshvanu.
Bhuteshucha vacheshvanu.
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनु
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनो
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनु
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनो
प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्
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 यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनु प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनो प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनु प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनो प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनु हरि बोल प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनो प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्
Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji. At times, Giriraj Prabhu will show me how humble I should become. I am very thankful to him. Prabhu, you can go ahead with your individual practice.
మీ మాత
No, thank you, Prabhu.
దీపమాత లాగింగ్ ఆఫ్ అని పెడితే సరే ఓకే ఆ రియాక్షన్స్ ఐకాన్ ఉంటుంది కదా కొడదాం అంటే సరే ఇది వచ్చింది నాట్ ఇంటెన్షన్
I'm just joking, Prabhuji.
నాట్ ఇంటెన్షన్
I understand.
సరే
Arey, Prabhu. I'm just kidding, Prabhuji.
yes you can do anything whatever so now okay దీపమాత లేదు వాణిమాత చేయండి మీరు ఉన్నారా హరిబోల్
yes Prabhuji unna
then రాజు ప్రభు
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनु प्रविष्टानि अप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्.
Nice, very nice.
Translation. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created and at the same time I am outside of everything. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Raju Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. చూడకుండా ఇప్పుడే రాదు మాతాజీ ఇప్పుడు ఆయన ప్రెషర్ లో పెట్టకండి
అసలు తింటున్నా ప్రభుజీ నేను అసలు రిసెర్చ్ చేయట్లేదు రోజు ఐ విల్ ట్రై
అంటే చూడకుండా రిసెర్చ్ చేస్తున్నాడు ప్రభుజీ అందుకే వస్తదేమో అనుకున్నాను
కాదు ఇంకా నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ వరకు ఉంది టైం నో ప్రెషర్ ప్రభు
హరే కృష్ణ శ్రీమద్ భాగవతం 2.9.35 యథా మహంతి భూతాని భూతేషు చ వశేష్వను ప్రవిష్టాన్య ప్రవిష్టాని తథా తేషు న తేష్వహం. ఓకేనా ప్రభుజీ? లలిత్ మన ప్రభుజీ ఎనీ మిస్టేక్స్?
రెండు లైన్ అయిపోయింది ప్రభు మింగేసినారు.
భూతేషు చ వశేష్వను అంతేనా ప్రభు? భూతేషు చ వశేష్వను
ఇది కరెక్ట్.
ఓకే కెన్ ఐ రిసైట్ వన్ మోర్ టైం ప్రభుజీ?
యా చేయండి
यथा महन्ति भूतानि भूतेषु च वशेष्वनु प्रविष्टान्य अप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्. Translation: O Brahma, please know that the universe elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist in everything created, and at the same time I am outside of everything. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Let me do. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.35. Yata mahanti bhutani bhutesu vacheshvano pravishyana pravishtani tata teshu nateshvaham. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created and at the same time I am outside of everything. So Mata is Prabhuji, please quickly. Sapan Prabhu, since you have a desire to read translation, you do translation, sloka recitation and translation reading.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yata mahanti bhutani bhutesu cha vacheshvano pravishtanya pravishtani tata teshu nateshvaham. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created and at the same time I am outside of everything. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mata is Prabhuji, sloka.
Yata mahanti bhutani bhuteshu cha vacheshvano pravishtanya pravishtani tata teshu nateshvaham. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yata mahanti bhutani bhuteshu cha vacheshvanu pravishtanya pravishtani tatha teshu nateshvaham. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yata mahanti bhutali bhuteshu chavasheshado pravishtari apravishtali tata teshu lateshvaham.
यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु च वचेष्वनु प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्.
यथा महन्ति भूतानि भूतेषु च वचेषनु प्रविष्टान्यप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेषहम्.
Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Mataji, ఒకసారి సెకండ్ లైన్ చేయండి మాతాజీ. మళ్ళీ ఇద్దరు కూడా అన్నం మింగినట్టు మింగేస్తుంది. మీరు ప్రభుజీ కూడా ఒకసారి సెకండ్ లైన్ చేయండి.
భూతేషు చ వచేష్వను అంతేనా ప్రభుజీ?
ఇది కొంచెం పర్వాలేదు మాతాజీ.
Yeah.
భూతేషు చ వచేష్వను. Okay.
భూతేషు చ వచేష్వను. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, ప్రభుజీ.
Jai. Bhagavatam prayers ki jai. Second canto ki jai. So thank you so much, devotees, for chanting, reading, and sloka recitations. And Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvaiva charaditam Vaishnav Antakoti Vaishnava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Nita Gaur Hari Hari.
Hari Bol.
Thank you very much. See you all tomorrow.
Viraj Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.